So in the early PS3 days, I actually played a demo of MotorStorm, but sadly, even though I enjoyed playing the game, I never really got the game or its sequel. But one of the games I have been enjoying playing of the series was MotorStorm Arctic Edge on the PSP and the PS2. Now, unlike the other versions, or at least some sort of other games of the series, this was not developed by Evolution Games, as this was developed by Big Studios on the PSP, while Virtuals did the PS2 version. And of course, it's a Sony game, which came out in 2009 on the PSP and the PS2. Well, first it was released on PSP in September, but then the following month it was brought into the PS2 in October. So this all focuses on winter-themed levels that you guys can play, including winter-themed vehicles, like snowmobiles and whatever else you may look into it that is winter themed. But there is some differences between this game and the PS2 version. So the differences between the two versions is that the PSP version features a photo mode, custom soundtracks, and online play up to 6 players, but the PS2 version features a 2-player split screen. Also, the differences too is that the graphics have a higher resolution on the PS2 version. And there are quite some texture differences that you guys may spot if you guys watch the comparison between the PSP and the PS2 version. So, this game has time attack mode, and it also has like a free play mode, which you guys can do. And if you guys play on a PS2, then you'll definitely play on 2-player split screen. I don't know why it's 2-player split screen when they always have these multi-tap up to like 4 players you guys could even do. But I don't know if it was just them to save money because not many people own the PS2 at this point anymore, because the PS3 was just starting to come back from the dead. And I say that because the PS3 launch was just terrible, and the price launch just wasn't doing it for anyone. So, just like everything else, if you guys played their previous game, you guys can even, if you guys go into like cold environments into the game, your boost meter will slow down, which is good. That way it doesn't have to like explode. Yeah, because if you actually boost too long, then your vehicle will definitely explode and you'll be out of it. But you can still recover. It's not like you're eliminated or anything. But going through the campaign and whatever else too, you can go ahead and do some challenges, unlock vehicles, and everything else that matters. So, believe it or not, there's actually 24 vehicles and 8 classes you guys can choose from. Just like I mentioned before, a snowmobile or a snowcat or anything else. Even an ATV or some sort of car that will help you to your advantage. There's also 12 unpredictable and reversible racing locations with shortcuts in each vehicle class slicing seconds of their time. And yeah, that's the thing. Now, just like the PSP version, the PS2 version also has the autosave. You can turn it on or off, but that's up to you guys if you guys want to do that. So as I'll just say, this is the only MotorStorm game to be on both the PSP and the PS2. I think this game was made more for the PSP than the PS2, but I guess they just did it for PS2 because they were in competition against the Wii, as it was still living on. So I guess that was a reason why they must have brought it into there. I don't know why, but I've always just seemed to enjoy this game out of the series more than anything else I've played. Maybe it's just because it's on the PSP and the PS2, or perhaps it's just something else I just can't point my finger at. But regardless of whatever that you guys may play with in the game, PSP, PS2, it makes no difference. You're still going to get the same enjoyable experience as I did. If there's like certain music that you guys just don't like, you can always just turn it off on the jukebox mode, which you'll be hearing the music on the main menu, or maybe you'll just be hearing it during the gameplay. What's weird is that when I was trying to play the game on a PS2 emulator, I could not get myself to get the game working with a controller. But on the PSP, on the other hand, it seems to work. I don't know why. Maybe PCSX2 just needs to fix that issue, because I have a few emulation issues, but I do own them legally on the PSP and PS2. So I've pretty much had an enjoyable experience playing the game on both the PSP and PS2. But like I mentioned, I feel like this game was made for the PSP, but it is nice to see the PS2 get its own higher resolution version of the game, despite there being a lack of features that the PSP version has. But if you guys have a friend that plays on the PS2, you guys can duke it out up to like 2 players, so that's just something. I wish the game was just like 4 players though, but I'm pretty sure they just want to save money, as I probably mentioned beforehand, so that's pretty much what I can say about this game, is that you can just choose any vehicle you want. But there are going to be some challenges that require specific use of vehicles, or just selective like ones. You can choose anything you want, but you're gonna have to be like smart as to like which vehicle you'll just prefer. Maybe you just want like a higher powerhouse to destroy your opponents on the way, or perhaps you just want something to go super fast. So think of which vehicle you think suits you the best, and then you'll probably be winning races here and then. So there's like so many things you'll unlock too, so make sure you keep playing this game and find all the unlockables as you can.